8:11 with the morning reboot on Q105. It's Eric, Floyd, Bethany from TSA is here with us. Yes, next Saturday night, you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Zombie Crawl weekend. Next weekend, I put a note in my phone. Hold on. It's called the Don't Dress Up, Just Show Up Halloween Party at Eric's.
Sweet. Because I wasn't going to dress up anyway.
Right.
Stand you.
Fine.
I need you to get a voiceover there that says, look at me. I ask the questions.
I do.
I think you're ready for the all-girl takeover that we talked about
Vanessa
yesterday.
Leonard is here. I'm fine with that. I'll take
It's going to happen.
I don't know who's going to run the board, but...
may not get out, but we're going to do it.
Vanessa Leonard is here and back. Vanessa is usually here with our friend Liz from ProMedica to talk about Impact and Inspires. And there is one coming up.
Yes.
But Vanessa is here for a personal reason. In fact, she actually gave me questions to ask her. And I got to be honest, some of my interviewing skills have been really crappy lately. So...
Oh.
That must be my type 3 coming out. Is anyone into the Enneagram? No. That's my latest thing lately.
What is it?
Oh my goodness. It's just major personality types. And I just recently found out that I'm a type 3. So that's probably why I...
What is that? What does that mean?
Where's this test at?
I'm a planner, list maker, doer.
So you're organized?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Different names for all the different internet.
Right, yep.
I just want to see what flavor salsa I am.
Oh,
when I take the text. Yeah.
Mango,
hot mango.
Looks good, but then you get to it, you're just like, all right.
I love mango.
Vanessa's here for a personal reason. In addition to ProMedica stuff, you are also a filmmaker.
I am.
And you have made a mental health movie called A Story Worth Telling, correct?
Story Worth Living.
You're on 13 ABC. Oh my God, I knew that face.
Other than being here a couple times.
No, I was like, wait, you look really, I seen you recently, and I was like, I don't remember where.
A Story Worth Living. So let's go back. Vanessa, you're from here originally. This is where you grew up?
Yep, Toledo, born, raised, and still living.
What high school? Obviously. Not till Zombie Crawl.
Right?
Where did you go to high school at?
So I went to State Line Christian, just right over the border in Temperance.
Okay, and then where did you go to secondary education?
Bowling Green.
BG, which has do you know our friend Justin Camuso?
I do not.
How about Lucas Stahl?
Nope, sorry, failing.
Okay, so they got married last weekend. They're friends of
Oh,
mine.
very
They
cool.
They were both in the media. Justin is a movie wonk. I think his degree is in some type of like cinema arts. So, and I know BG is great for that. So tell me about learning all about that at BG and what got you into wanting to do it beyond school.
Yeah, so originally, I had a passion for making films since I was like 12, 13 years old. My brother, he was younger, so I made him dress up in the different costumes. I'm like, here's a script, act it out. So I'm pretty sure we did like Sherlock Holmes and different things. So I've always had a passion for filmmaking. And so I transitioned to wanting to go into journalism, to actually be a news reporter. But then,
is this during BG or after?
During,
yeah. Okay.
So, but then like during the transition, I'm like, this is so much work. I was also working full time. I was also engaged, planning a wedding. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. So I actually trimmed down my major, went to just a communications. But it's interesting how my passion for it is still alive and well in my adulthood. So How do you find time to follow this passion while you're working and dealing with everything else? Because, again, you've made a movie. Right. Yeah, it was so much work. And I'm still honestly just like, I think for the first time in 2 years, I can just kind of relax. It's a crazy feeling. But mainly shooting on the weekends. I also took some time off of work. But it's really just making time, make it a priority. And thankfully, I had a really strong cast, a really strong crew. That also brought it together.
Who is the cast and the crew that helped you put this project together?
Yeah, so we had auditions last March, mostly Toledo people. A couple of people did come from Findlay, from Milan, Michigan, but actually the lead actor came from the Cleveland area. So, I mean, he was traveling back and forth. It was a major commitment from him.
Vanessa Leonard is here with us from ProMedica, but producer of a film called A Story Worth Living. Let me back up just a little bit. Usually it seems like when we're kids and growing up and we've got these big dreams, we want to be in front of the camera, and you were putting your brother behind it. Yes. Is that still where your passion is? Because you also are in this film.
Yes. So I really do love acting. I love the idea of just putting on a face and telling someone else's story. But I don't know. I mean, I remember going to LA for the first time on a family vacation. I was 13 or 14 years old. And I just remember engulfing all that LA is. And I just remember telling my parents, I'm like, I want to be a movie director. I want to be a female director. And so it's interesting. Here I am.
And now we have this film, A Story Worth Living, which is a mental health journey.
Yes.
And you mentioned the guy who's from Cleveland, the star. You're the star as well, right?
Yes.
What's your character's name? And tell us about this journey or these challenges she's dealing with.
Yeah. So I play Allison Foster. She's a college student. And the story tells her being diagnosed at a young age with a mood disorder. And
which one?
Depression, mood disorder.
Okay.
Yeah, just a kind of a general.
Okay.
I didn't get, but that's a really good question to bring up. But just so she something happens, an antagonist. Actually, there's a lot of antagonists and protagonists throughout the entire movie, but. Something happens, and she gets off medication, and so her doctor thinks she's well enough to do it, so she starts weaning off of that, and while she's falling in love with this guy, so it's really, it takes you on a journey of figuring herself out, who she's becoming, who she is without medication after being on it for so long. Why
is this so close to your heart and your head? Why this subject? Why this topic, which is obviously a very important one? We talk about it all the time on this show.
Yeah. So I love my friends. It's so funny because we have such a close relationship that we're very open about our mental health. I mean, I have my girlfriends who are like, hey, I know we had plans, but it's not a good mental health day. Can we please reschedule? I'm like, absolutely. So mental health hits home for me in a lot of ways, just with my own family, but also my friends. I have friends who are experiencing major anxiety right now and depression. And I think it's a topic that needs to be talked about. And so I really wanted to make a movie that was just very raw, very authentic, because personally, when I watch mental illness movies, it's always done in a horror genre. Mm-hmm. You have the psychopath, stalker, or the obsessive compulsive disorder, or schizophrenia as well. And it's done in a very Hollywood fashion. Mm-hmm. So I really just wanted to make something relatable to
something
viewers.
More normal.
Absolutely.
That many people, the number is 1 in 4, 1 in maybe 5 American adults suffer with some kind of mental illness, and it's usually something connected to depression or anxiety or small doses of OCD or anything else, as opposed to the more serious one like psychosis and schizophrenia. You look like you're sitting on a question.
No, because I watched it on Thursday ABC, and I was I was going to ask her, because the last time I heard you were shopping at independent film festivals, correct? Or
so I'm still applying. It's crazy. I'm new to this. Yes,
okay.
It really is. So I'm applying to, I think, 30 next year, and I think 5 in 2021. But it's one of those that you don't hear back from them until a month before the festival. So it's keeping me on edge the entire time.
A Story Worth Living, Vanessa Leonard. You can watch the trailer on YouTube, right?
Yes. Yep.
Have you connected with anybody here locally? I don't know any Toledo Film Fest people, but those people that I mentioned, Justin and our friend Alex Getz, I think they help put on, I think they do the Maumee Film Festival.
Yes, there is the Maumee Film Festival coming up in March, actually. I think I'm in a short in that. But I did actually kind of reach out to them because I was just curious, because I think Toledo is mostly short film festival or short films. But sure enough, they do have another category, but it's only up to 50 minutes, and mine is 97 minutes, an hour and a half, give or take. So, so I'm. Okay. It's a legit feature. So.
When will this be released? How can people watch it in the future, aside from the film festivals and all of that?
Yeah. So next November is the general consensus at this time. I know I'm applying to some film festivals in 2021, but from what I'm gathering, most of them don't care if it's been premiered or is public. So as long as it's not picked up for distribution or if there's any legality issues, I'm hoping to premiere it locally next November.
Awesome. Nice. Vanessa Leonard, A Story Worth Living. You can watch is the best place to watch it. You
YouTube.
Direct people to YouTube? Okay.
Yep.
On the back end of this, what's it cost to produce a 97-minute film, and what's a day of production like for you?
So it's very low budget, but it's honestly my best work. For the most part, all the lead people got paid. And yeah, it was expensive, and I mean just financially, but also just time. I mean, you're working some days we worked 10 to 12 hours. I mean, we started shooting at 10 o'clock and we didn't wrap until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Where was it shot? Will there be places that will look familiar to us?
Absolutely. So a lot of it was shot in Toledo. But we also did travel to Columbus, Findlay, Temperance, and then we also did a shoot in West Virginia as well.
Oh, nice.
So,
What was your very favorite part of the entire experience? Obviously, aside from the finished product, something that you'll take away, maybe something that, as you're acting out these roles, something you were enlightened to, something you wanted to look more into.
Well, obviously the finished product and just seeing how supportive people are. I actually really don't like social media, and I don't like posting about myself on social media. But I have to.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But just seeing the support that I've had just even this past week was just phenomenal. But as far as like directing, and it's cool to be able to say that I'm a director now and a screenwriter as well. So.
Yeah. Do you have any diagnosed mental health issues?
Okay, so we're getting really vulnerable on the show. Not particularly. I did a couple years ago. I was seeing therapy actually for 3 or 4 years, and I mean, honestly, I think it was just, your 20s, your early 20s is typically when mental illness comes out because your brain is still developing. I was in therapy for 3 or 4 years and figuring out who I was. I was also newly married and figuring that out as well. But it was just a mixture of figuring myself out and also maturity. I think I've gotten better. I have gotten better, but obviously there's tinges because the brain is just so complex that it just takes
when you have these discussions
growth
with your friends that inspired the film, how deep do they talk about things? Will they talk about different medications that they're on, or what they discuss with their therapist? Are they that out and about
they
it?
are. Oh my
Good.
goodness, yep.
Good,
It's really good.
Yeah, the more we have that dialogue, the easier it is for everyone else, so that the next generation of people won't have a lot of these issues because they'll address it like they would a headache or a physical
Absolutely.
ailment. Thanks for visiting today.
Thank you so much for
Vanessa
having me, guys.
Leonard, please
Yay.
find A Story Worth Living, the trailer on YouTube.